doing part 2 to Tips for Happiness, the sequel. Um, so yeah, so this is kind of it is a tip for happiness, but it's also kind of an exercise for happiness. We touched on a lot of things last time, and some of those were, sometimes you just need to take a walk and clear your head. Um, that really helps you work your thoughts out and get out of your head and clear it out. Um, but this tip's a little bigger, and we're making a part 2 because I recently had an experience that's worth sharing, that I was able to overcome. So without further ado, so I found myself going on vacation, and it was very stressful, like it can be, right? And I was very worried and caught up in things not going as planned, right? And
Mm.
and Confucius says that without previous preparation, there is sure to be failure. So you need to prepare. And I had prepared well in advance, and I was feeling really good. But just as is typical in life, a lot of times you'll step into something and you'll still be worried and anxious that something's going to go wrong last minute, something that's out of your control, right? And so that's kind of the state I ended up getting into. I kind of started getting down and feeling that things were going to go wrong, and that even though I had done all this planning and things were so far going according to plan, I was still worried things were going to go wrong. And so, but I was able to step out of that dark place of feeling down and anxious and worried. And here's how. So here's our tips for happiness, part 2, and that is you need to believe it into existence, right? You need to change your mindset completely. So I had this mindset that I just described, and one of the things I did was I said, I don't, I don't care if things go wrong. I always have fun wherever I am, no matter what. Like life is always good. I'm still alive. I'm still going to make the best of whatever happens, no matter what. And so to continue that story and to go over what's going to kind of be a bunch of little tips to form into one big successful process is first I went and I decided I was going to take a walk. I committed to taking a walk. It was 10 p.m. at night. I had a whole day of I don't know what I'm going to do before me. I didn't even have a place to sleep. I was going to sleep in the back of the car. And so I said, I'm going to take a walk. I committed to taking a walk. I got somewhere nice, quiet, secluded, and I started my walk, and I changed my mindset, right? And the first thing I did was I trusted in the process, because sometimes you have to surrender. You have to let go. And so that's the first tip to part 2. I think we were on what, 17 last time?
Yes, that's 18 right there.
Yeah, that's like 18 right there, right? You have to surrender. You just have to let go. That's the first thing I did. I said, I'm going to trust in the process. I'm
You have
going to
to take a
trust that.
different, yeah, you have to take a different approach.
Mhm.
You have to kind of roll with the punches. You're
Exactly.
not being a victim and letting them throw you off, but you take them, you roll with them, and you get back on track. So
Yep. You have to remind yourself that you can't control the ocean. The waves are going to come. You can just ride them out. Now, are you going to ride them out and take them from the side where it's going to completely bash you every time? Or are you going to plow right into that wave and ride over it like a ship does when the ocean's worse? The best way to take the wave is either from the back or from the front. You take it from the side, and you're constantly facing the possibility of being shipwrecked, and getting flipped. So that's what I did. I said, I'm going to surrender. I'm going to let go, and I'm going to trust the process. So that's step 18 is trust the process. I said, hey, I've planned well in advance. The worst might happen, but even if the worst happens, the worst isn't even that bad. Like, honestly, the worst thing I could think of wasn't even that big of a deal.
well, that's pretty good because you thought
And I was still
too.
going to have fun no matter what happened. Like, even if the worst happened, I was still going to be on vacation soon enough, even if it was a few days late or a few flights late or without the people I was expecting to be on vacation with. who cares? I would still be on vacation in a superb place, with plenty of finances because I'd set that up too. I'd made sure I was prepared financially, and I have fun anywhere I go. So I had to let go. I had to tell myself, surrender, let go, trust the process. It's going to work out. So that's step 18.
I have to add a tip there because you didn't just like prepare like physically for the trip. You also prepared mentally.
Hmm.
And a huge
Right.
helpful tip is like preparing mentally is actually writing it down. What's the worst that can happen? What's also, what's the worst case scenario? What's the best case scenario?
Yeah.
What do I do if this happens? You're preparing your mind.
And I'll tell you a little secret. Um, I s- I looked at the worst case scenario, right? Realized it wasn't even that bad, and actually here I am weeks later, and the best case scenario occurred, right? Because I let go, and I'm very convinced that it was because I let go and was willing to accept whatever happened. The very best played out. Things went really not just good, not just according to plan, better than I planned in a lot of different ways, not just one either. Um, but anyway, so there's the first thing, right? I let go. I committed to trusting the process. The second thing I did is I changed my mind, right? I changed my beliefs. I believe. I said right now I'm feeling all these things, and I believe in being anxious about this because I'm worried about this and I'm fearful about this and blah blah blah. And I said, you know what? I have to believe something else. I have to change my story, right? And so there, and that's something you will mention a lot, Daniel, and that's something Tony Robbins mentions, right? And anybody who knows Tony Robbins knows he has great advice. Um, and so that's a big key thing, right? You want to be happy, you need to change your story. And so I kind of did that by
You didn't
letting
just
go, but
change your story too. You
huh,
redirected your focus.
yeah, but I didn't just let go. I didn't simply let go and let happen. I also reestablished a different belief, right? And that belief was that I was going to have fun. I believed it and I committed to it. I said I'm gonna have fun tonight. I'm gonna have fun tomorrow, and I'm gonna have fun this whole vacation. Um, because I always have fun. I said I got to get rid of this dark cloud. It's just a passing dark cloud. Emotions come and go. Feelings come and go. Dark clouds come and go. The sun always comes out after a while. And so I said, all this is a dark cloud that went in front of the sun, that I only saw the dark cloud. I didn't see all the blue sky around it. I just saw
Mhm.
the area that was blocking out the sun. Um, and so I changed my belief. I said, I believe I'm going to have fun. I know I'm going to have fun. I always have fun. And I convinced myself of that too, because sometimes you can't just say it. You need to know it's the truth. And I knew it was the truth. The more I broke it down, like looking at the worst case scenario and the best case scenario, the more I realized it was the truth. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a blast one way or another. And I felt a ton better about that. And then I believed that. I said, I will have a blast. Because even if something bad does happen, I'm gonna make sure I find a way to make it fun. If I end up there and the car breaks down, well then I'm gonna get out and go sit on the beach for the next 5 hours while someone picks it up and fixes it. Like, I was like, I am going to have fun. I'm committed to it. And I believe it's going to happen because I'm going to make it happen. And so there's tip 19 is you have to change your belief. You have to change your story and change your belief and believe in something good, right? Because what you think about, what you speak into existence does just that. It becomes part of existence. It becomes reality, right? Um, so you need to be speaking the truth into existence, and you need to be speaking love and goodness into existence, and that includes in your own life, even in the most little minute ways, like your vacation.
Right. But I feel like I definitely had an experience like that before, where I just feel unprepared and
Hmm.
unprepared for the stress. But I think those are awesome tips right there for
So,
handling. I think you handle it amazingly.
well, and I could tell you, I did. I can confidently say I did because I saw where I was, and how bad my day was becoming, and it was deteriorating even worse, to the point where I was like, this is going to impact my ability to sleep tonight. And my ability to sleep was already going to be pretty bad because I was going to sleep in the back of a car, which I was okay with that. But I said, you know, I have the power to change this. And that's another thing. Maybe a tip, maybe not. We might have already mentioned it, but you do have that power. You have that ability to change your mindset, right? And so I want to also reflect on something that I learned from meditations that Marcus Aurelius says. He says, nothing exterior of your mind can penetrate your mind that you don't permit it to, right? So all the ways you're feeling, those are all feelings you permit to exist in your body because you let them in, right? You don't have to let them in if you don't want to. Your mind can be completely neutral or nothing but good and excitement and happiness and all those other emotions. Nothing can impact your mind that you don't permit to impact your mind. And so that I think is so key, because I realized that I was permitting these things to impact my mind. I was permitting this anxiety and the reason I had these fears and all my little concerns with the trip. I was permitting them to make me feel this way and to create what my mind looked like in that moment. And so I said, well, the reality is exactly what Marcus Aurelius says. All these external factors can't affect my mind if I don't let them. And so that's also important to know, because it goes hand in hand with the whole what you believe. You know, you're going to let you're going to let it's going to become the environment around you. You're going to foster it, right? And so the same thing goes for that. Is you have to know that you permitting those is you actually fostering it. You don't have to foster those things. You can completely turn that around and be like, I don't really want to feel anxious or to feel fearful. So I'm just going to trust and let go and think of the best case scenario and believe that the best is going to happen. And that's essentially what I did. And so anyway, to finish that story, I took a walk. It was probably an hour and 15 minutes, right? Up till 11, almost 11:30 doing this, right? And it took a little bit of time to walk through, but you know, an hour walk isn't anything compared to days of miserableness, days of depression or anxiety or fearfulness or whatever state you might find yourself in, right? An hour walk is not very long at all. So, and the result was I completely changed my mind. I completely let go. I completely changed my mind. I said, I'm going to have fun. And I believed I was going to have fun. And I was completely indifferent and okay with whatever happened as a result. I knew I might be bummed out if something really bad happened, but I was like, well, once it happened, I'll accept that it happened. So I might as well accept beforehand that, you know, like I might as well like pre-accept something bad happening. And I also have to realize,
But you change
just
your
as I
expectations too.
say again,
You change your expectations too.
and I also have to realize, just as I encourage you all to realize, is that I was planning for the worst case scenario. Why on earth would you want to sit down and plan for the worst case scenario? Sometimes that's good. Sometimes you should prepare for the worst case. But I was about to go have a lot of fun. Why would I want to? What good did it do me? And I can answer that question for you. None at all. Did it do me planning for the absolute worst case scenario? Nothing. All it did was make me stressed, anxious, and fearful. So I encourage you not to sit around and to plan for the worst case. Plan for the best case, right? If you're going to have a bad 2 days of your life, don't make it a bad 4 days by being anxious and stressed out for those 2 days coming up. Have the best 2 days ever until those bad 2 days come up. Why would you want 4 bad days? So that's kind of what I had to tell myself. I said, why would I want to sit and be in this state of mind for a whole day up until the worst happens? I'm going to have fun until the worst happens. And then the worst never even happened. So I ended up having nothing but fun. So that's a little logical, but it's also practical. You know, fine, something bad might happen, but until it happens, I'm going to have fun. You know, I'm not going to wallow in wondering if something bad's going to happen. And then if something bad doesn't happen, then I had nothing but fun. You know, like what happens if you spend 2 days stressing about something and everything goes according to plan? Well, you just wasted 2 days of your life stressing about something that went right. don't do that. Like, honestly, it's silly. It really is silly. So there's your little story. And the result, like I mentioned earlier, was everything went perfect. Like a dream. Better than I expected.
That's awesome. Awesome, man. All right.
You have anything to add?
Nope, that's it. That's all good. I like it. I like those 2 tips. Love them.
So the
right,
big
guys.
tips right there for happiness are: change your story, change your belief, let go, surrender, trust in the process, and prepare for the future, but don't get hung up on what you want the result to be. Be okay, be flexible, live in the present until you get to your destination. From all of us here at the Hive Mind.
Peace out.
Peace.